This clip is just to give you some easy steps on how to get a neon sign like this. There's a few key things that you've got to be focused on. One of them is the font that you're using, because the human eye is used to seeing neon signs in this kind of bent glass fashion. If you see it as any other font, it's not going to look totally realistic. And then also colors, like you don't often see a yellow neon sign like this. So probably you stick to the colors that are going to make sense and select the font. The font that I'm using is one called Clip. So here it's called Clip, and you can find that on the internet. It's a free download. I'll see if I can put it in the description below, maybe the link to where I found it, or maybe the font itself. It's just a single file that you can install. And then once I was done here, I saved it. I went here to styles and I said add a style. So I've added the styles at the bottom here, so that if I wanted to use it in future, then it's just a matter of clicking on the style. So let's go into seeing what makes up this neon sign. So on the A here, I'm going to go to layer effects. Okay, and then we just have a peek here and see what's going on. So we are using outer shadow. The outer shadow would make sense because you need to create a contrast between the light shining here and whatever's at the back. So anything that has a light has to have a shadow somewhere, and that adds a bit of realism. The outer glow is this sort of glare area here. So you see it's red here. If I change this to blue, you'll see it will change all to blue. Change it to orange. There we go. But red is a good choice. That's more common in neon lights. And then the other one is your inner glow. Now the inner glow takes a bit of kind of understanding, and let me zoom in. What it's doing is adding this color, which is a white color, but when you move the actual radius, it sort of cramps down on this area. So if you're looking closer, you see that is a kind of a bluish hue. So if I pull this back, let's see what happens. Okay, so that's the color that I have in there. So that was the actual color of the font using. And when you move the radius, you literally pull the edges over. Now it's taking a bit of challenge to get this. So you leave it so that there's just a little hint of that bottom color coming through. So let me just go to colors here. Here you can see that that is the general color that was used on here. If I go in there and I say I want the general color to be red, let me just make that red. And then I pull this back, you will see that the actual thing is red itself. Okay, so the main color you can drop in there, and then this radius, the inner glow, is, it sort of pulls it from the side there. You can see it, that's the white. It's glowing towards the inside, and that's still the red there. So we could even push it a little bit more, and then the white will sort of almost occlude this area. So you can decide how much of that you want to show. So this is just showing that the light is bright on the outside, but you're still seeing the red tube. Then you can change the tube to any color, and of course the outer glow to any color that you want to. So let's take something right from scratch and see how we can get to that. So I'm going to go, yeah, let me just do it on the side. I'll move these two out of the way. Okay, so here now I'm clicking here so that I can just clear up all the selections. It just takes it to its default. So I'm going to go and say shake. Okay, so I'm using that. And now in this case, I'm going to add the change in font, as I've explained already. So if I go there, I'm going to go look at the font. And the one that we use is, what was that? Clip. Okay, so when we go to Clip, there we have the actual font. Now it doesn't look like anything at the moment, but let's say we're going to do a red one, or let's do the blue one for now. So we are going to choose the blue color. Okay, and we're going to make that. Now you see it's looking a bit sort of very dull. That's because it's lying under certain layers that I've been working already. So I'm going to just move this right to the top so we can get it out of those layers, and I can have it right on. Let me just see where we've got it. shake. There we go. Okay, so I brought it now to the 4. So if we look at this here, we've got the blue color, which is the base color. Now we go into these layer effects. Again, we're going to go through exactly what we did on these here. Make selection there, and then just play around with it. If I go do that, just push it out. Okay, there you can see there's a nice shadow created there. Then you go to inner glow. I would suggest you go to inner glow. So the inner glow is going to make that, based on your radius, it's going to make this color, which is white, sort of impose onto this blue itself. Let's show you what happens. I'm going to move it a little bit. So you see there it's going. If I push a bit more, so that's what's happening. It's pushing from the outside. It's making this white here and then imposing itself on the blue underneath. So if I take it right across, it's going to just cover it as a total white area. So you can sort of tweak how far you want that to go, possibly something maybe like that. So yeah, the relevance of this is that if you use another font that's much thicker, the amount of radius might have to be adjusted. So you've just got to be aware of that. So there we have those two, and let's go for, what is the other one? The outer glow. Okay, so in the outer glow, we are going to add a nice blue color, and we are going to pop up the radius there. Okay, there we go. Okay, and the intensity. So you can play around with these two. I think you get the idea of how that all comes to being. As you notice here, these are much brighter than that. So one would go to inner shadow and possibly just pop that up. So what we've done is now increase the radius, and we've occluded the actual color of this font, and we've just used the white to create the sort of bright light and illumination effect that's on there. If you want to now transfer that onto another object, you could maybe create another, well, let's put it the same onto this bottom one here. So you'll come here and you'll select, and you can go right click and say copy, come here, and then you go to edit and you say paste the style. What it will do is we'll change all of this into that same look. So if I go paste style, there we go. So we've just taken that look and we've applied it on there. And then of course, as I mentioned, what you can do is go in and add that style. Once you have that style there, you can literally apply it to anything. Okay, so hopefully that gets you on the way to creating some neon signs. And then of course, you know, the background, I'm not going to go into showing you to create a brick background. That was just as a contrast to show you the actual neon areas. Have a fantastic day, and God bless.